Welcome back, or welcome to Yoga with Ciara. This is day one of dynamic balance, and we're back after 2 months break. My studio, it's a little bit dark this morning. It's the beginning of the darkening. I have Bear with me, which is always a deep comfort. I have Sinead. She's in Zagreb right now. She was my technical backup this morning, and I have you. So dynamic balance. How do we balance different elements of life, of physicality, of ourselves in motion, on our mats, in our daily lives? So today is Sunday, so it's a Sunday yum. So come lie on the floor, and we shall begin. We should begin this 21-day adventure together. Come. So lying on your back, your knees are bent. Feet are flat on the floor. And just landing in, arriving. Some of you have been doing yoga all the way along the last 2 months. Some of you haven't seen your yoga mat since we finished up 2 months ago. So whatever way you've been, find now. So just slowing your breath down. Maybe placing your hands on your tummy so that you feel your breath from the outside as well as from the inside. Notice if you can take up a little bit more space on your mat. So can you widen your shoulders? Can you deepen your breath? Can you feel that you're just a little bit more landed or planted into your yoga mat? Slow things down. So what's your intention for this month, for this 21 days? What's the sense of what your plan is? And just commit to that internally. What's your internal plan for the next 21 days? Nice. So good luck with that. I intend to keep the promise to myself. So we'll begin by doing a pelvic tilt. So flatten your lower back down and pull backwards, and then arch into your lower back. And as you do this, it's the movement of the spine and of the pelvis. It's the pressure of rolling along the floor that we're looking for. It's not perfect posture or some shape that we're looking at. It's how does this feel as I flatten my lower back down and then as I arch? As I flatten and then arch. Can I really sense both sides of my pelvis? Can I sense both buttocks, both thighs, both legs engaging into the floor as I arch my lower back and then as I flatten down? One more time. Arching and flattening down. And then begin to rock your knees slowly down towards the right. And just pause there. Feel the pull of your body, the sense of the outer part of the left hip, the inner thigh, the deep of your belly, and then come back up to center. And then knees down towards the left and just feel the pull, feel the sensations. And then begin to travel from right, slowly traveling back to the center, feeling your body as it pushes backwards into the floor and then down towards the left. So each moment of the journey, allow it to be a sense of connectivity in your body, that you're tracking sensations, tracking the movement, tracking the weight of you. Traveling right, and then traveling left. right, and then left. Nice. Coming back to center. So feet are hip distance apart, arms are long beside you, and then flatten your lower back down like we did in the pelvic tilt. And then push your hips upwards towards the ceiling and roll up along your spine. And then slowly roll down along your spine and land on the floor. And then do that again. Wow, it's just become really bright. Nice. 5 by 7, and it's really bright. Very lovely. And then roll all the way down to land. So as you travel up and down along your spine, where are you feeling this? Are you being kind to your neck and shoulders? Can you feel that there is a sense of movement? There's definitely movement. And you feel more connection. So for me, more connection is where I begin to really push my spine a little bit more into the floor in the places that are just the rising edge of the movement, or the dropping edge of the movement. My feet are planted, and then I squeeze my bum and push my hips a little bit more towards the ceiling. And so as I do that, I feel through the front of my body. So feel connection from your knees to your rib cage as you lift your hips upwards. So this could be, there's these things in fascia called the deep lines of the body, the fascia lines of the body. So here, as we lift our hips upwards, there's the deep front line. We're opening and lengthening. So lean upwards into your hips. Feel that sense of, I feel like a sheet of, I feel like a trampoline, kind of like where there's tone through the front of my legs, through the front of my belly, the front of my ribs, and there's a sense of connection. There is a wide, flat plane of movement. Notice for you what that is as you travel up and as you travel down. Nice. Next time that you travel up, pause. So I'm really leaning and feeling into the front of my thighs. I'm feeling into the front of my hips. I have a sense that my bum is squeezing. There's weight in my shoulders and there's weight in my neck and head. But there's no discomfort, except for some hair being pulled. There's no discomfort in my neck. And I'm really attending to my neck as I move. Shoulders are wide and steady. I can feel effort in my buttocks and in my hips, but no effort in my neck. Nice. Lowering all the way down, land on the floor and just pause. Let that settle. Nice. So reach your arms overhead and let your arms grab a dog if there's a dog there. So reach your arms overhead and then drop both knees down towards the right. And now you're going to feel more movement up into the rib cage and into that left armpit. So just see with your breath, can you fill into the left rib cage, left armpit? Maybe squeeze the left buttock and push your hips a little bit to the right. And as you do that, can you find connection by reaching through the left arm so that from the left knee all the way into your fingertips, there's a sense of length. Nice. Come back to center. And then drop your knees down towards the left side. And now there's more movement, more connection, more openness through the right rib cage. Squeeze the right buttock, push your hips a little bit towards the left, and then reach a little bit extra through that right arm, right armpit. Nice. And then come back to center. And then do that movement from side to side. As you drop your knees to the right, reach your left arm or left armpit. As you drop your knees to the left, reach your right arm, right armpit. So what starts to happen? Like I want to start almost rolling a bit onto like my shoulder as my knees travel towards the left. I'm kind of rolling a bit towards the left shoulder to create length on the right side. What's happening in your body? How are you creating that extra? Like I feel like I really want to open into the side of my ribs. And to do that, I seem to be rolling my rib cage more and more over. So I'm going to keep going. I'm going to roll all the way so that my face is resting on the arm that's on the floor. And I'm actually rolling over to follow the knees as I go. But my arm is reaching overhead. And I'm trying to really lean into how do I create more space in my ribs, more space in my waist as I travel. Just feel that. How do you create more space? A little bit more connection. Nice. So come back to center, just pause. Cool. So drop your knees down towards the right, roll over onto your right arm, and then bend your left elbow and pull your left elbow back. And as you do that, draw your left knee up and forward. So we're coming into propellers. And now keeping your elbow bent, bring the left elbow forward and bring the left foot backwards. So I have this moment where my foot is reaching backwards, I'm opening into my belly, and my left elbow is trying to touch as far forward as I can. Pull your left elbow back, draw your left knee forward, and then draw your left elbow forward, reach your left foot backwards. So begin to glide, but it's not about the place that you're going to. It's the feeling of when you get there, and even the feeling of the whole time that you're moving. How deeply can you meet your rib cage in motion? So there is a balance moment here. So as your knee comes forward, you can really counterweight into the elbow going backwards. And as your elbow comes forward, you can counterweight the foot going backwards. So the deeper one goes, the deeper the other can go. So they're like dynamically balanced with each other. I love it. Starting already. So I'm really enjoying that elbow going backwards and that elbow going forwards. It's creating space through my rib cage, space through my chest. So pausing one last time, elbow forward, foot going backwards. And just breathe into your belly, breathe into your rib cage. Nice. Come back to center. Pause. Okay, arms overhead. Drop your knees to the left, roll over onto your left shoulder, bend your right elbow, bring your right elbow forward, bring your right foot backwards. Pause. So now I'm dynamically balanced. There's a counterweight happening. As I reach more and more forward, I'm not falling over because my foot is reaching more and more backwards. And then change. As my elbow comes backwards, my knee comes forwards. Change. As my elbow goes forward, my foot goes back. Can you really lean into that moment of the counterweight? That wonderful moment of balance. That there's this ability to lean a bit deeper because of the foundation that you're creating. There's a sense of leaning in. Nice. Next time your elbow goes forward and your foot goes back, pause. Nice. Roll all the way onto your back. Pause deeply on the floor again. Nice. So draw your right knee up towards you. Squeeze it in. How is that? How's your hip? How's your knee? How's your foot? How does it compress your thigh down towards your belly? How do your hands feel? Your elbows, your shoulders, your spine. Nice. Extend your leg upwards. How does that feel? You know, as you wiggle your toes, how is it to enliven your foot as you pull on your leg? So just roll your foot. Begin to engage into your toes. Change the direction that your foot is pointing in. Have a sense of, so nice, really moving into that foot. Pull your leg a little bit closer. And then hold on behind the thigh and bend your knee a little bit. So now my knee is softer. I'm pulling my thigh towards me. And just settle there. Enliven your foot again. Rolling into your ankle. And then roll in the other direction. Nice. So the very first movement we did in class was the arch and flatten of our lower back. So let's do that again. So here, how would you arch your lower back? And as you arch, your leg's going to move away from you. And then as you flatten, your leg's going to move closer towards you. So in the beginning, just let your leg, don't pull your leg in any way. Just let your leg move. As you arch, your leg moves away. And as you flatten, your leg moves towards you. So in this way, it's like the hip, the pelvis, the hip, and the thigh are a chunk together. They're all mobilizing together. So now we're going to disconnect that mobilization. Not disconnect, we're going to challenge that mobilization. So now, holding your leg stable, arch your lower back, don't let your leg move, and then flatten your lower back. Don't let your leg move. Now we're mobilizing the pelvis and the hip socket directly. So flattening down and then arch. And you're really challenging your leg not to move. Flattening down and arch. Flattening down and arch. So pause there in the arched position, keeping your leg still, and even pull your leg a little bit closer towards you. So there's a space between your lower back and the floor. I feel there's a pull in my arms, and I can feel my hip is really, it's moving in a way that's very interesting for it. I can feel a sense of connection into my buttock, a sense of strength in the muscles of my hip. Nice. Release that. Other side. Lengthen. Draw your left knee up towards you. Squeeze it in. Knee is bent. Pull your leg down. Check out your hip, your knee, your ankle, your hands, your elbows, your shoulders. And just deepen your breath. Nice. Stretch your leg up towards the ceiling. Pull your leg towards you, and now mobilize into your foot. So, I've been really looking at some research recently about how feet affect the aging process. So the more alive your feet are, the more dexterous and able you are to move in life. Also, the less of a fall risk you have. And so the more that we can enliven our feet, the better. So just move your toes and mobilize your feet in many different directions here as you pull your leg towards you. Nice. Bend your knee so that your knee is down towards your chest, your hand is on your thigh, and mobilize your foot here. Also notice, what does this foot like? What does this foot feel like as you do this? Nice. So arch your lower back, let your leg move, and flatten your lower back down, let your leg move. So you're really focusing on just the arching of the pelvis, the flattening down of the pelvis. Arching, leg is moving, flattening, leg is moving. So we're moving like a chunk when I do this. It's good. It's also nice. Now I'm going to de-chunk myself. So pull your leg towards you, and now don't let your leg move and arch into your lower back. So there'll be resistance in the movement as we do this. And then flatten your lower back down. Arching, resist movement by keeping your leg still, and then flattening. So there's less movement in my hip, but it's actually proper hip movement that's happening now. So flattening and arching, and then pause on the arch and lean into that engagement that's happening. Lean into that sense of strength, connection, mobility. Nice. Release. Bring both feet to the floor. Bring the soles of your feet together, your knees apart. Just bring your hands to your belly. So I'm going to walk my shoulders away from my pelvis. Just pause there, knees wide. Nice. Keeping your feet touching, drop your right knee over like a book towards the left side. Come back to center, soles of your feet together, knees apart, and then close the book over to the other side. Keep your feet together as you do this. Center, pause, close the book. Center, pause, close the book. Nice. Flatten your lower back down, pull both feet up towards you, pull your feet towards your belly. And just take a deep breath. So now as you listen in, when we first landed onto the floor, we were drawing our attention from all the things that we commit to and do and all the layers of our lives. And now perhaps there's a little bit more of present time awareness of this moment in your body. So just rock from side to side, last movement. And as you rock, just feel, how is it where do you mobilize from? How do you balance one side and then balance the other side? There's a nice feet to the floor. Stretch your legs out long. Bring your hands to the floor beside you. How lovely. It's nice to be back. Nice to be back moving. Nice to be back here on my mat. Very nice to have that sense of connectivity through my body. So I'll see you again tomorrow. Tomorrow we shall stand. Sunday Yum is a great place to start, and we'll start on the floor always, a little bit of a warm up, and then we're going to start dynamic balance in motion. I'm looking forward to this. So I'll see you tomorrow, and have a great day. Thank you so much for joining me. Ciao, Slán.